Greetings everyone. It's been a while. It's even been a longer while since we've discussed or played this game. Now I thought a good place to go back on and review or revisit is Friday the 13th, and I thought a better way to start is to have a look at our previous Jason ranking list and possibly re-rank the Jasons, just because it has been, I looked at it about a year since I did that, and my opinions have changed quite a bit about each Jason. They're not too drastic, some of them are just swap positions because I realised some Jasons are better than others, and I did make a couple of mistakes or just bad calls on each Jason. I think that there's some that can be swapped around. I think I was a bit biased in my last Jason videos and I ranked a couple of Jasons a bit too highly, some a bit too low. Anyway, we're going to re-rank each of the Jasons. Now I haven't recorded anything from this game for about a year, but I have been speedrunning it in my spare time and also playing it off camera quite a bit, so I thought it's probably best to go back because I still really enjoy this game, and I think a lot of people should still go back and play this game because it is still really enjoyable and a lot of fun. So this video is kind of just for those new players that want to have a grasp of what Jasons are currently good. I also wanted to say in this video I will not be discussing Savini Jason as I did in the last video. I don't think it was fair for me to do so. I haven't really played him at all because I didn't have him. I can only really go from experience against him, and a lot has changed about Savini since then. I think Savini players in general have a lot to be afraid of. I think they're petrified that they're going to die because there's a lot of people that want to kill Savini out there. So without further ado, let's get started into this ranking video. I hope you guys enjoy, and my ranking is a little bit better than last time. So here we go. So after a bit more thought and deliberation, I've decided that part 4 is the worst Jason in this game. I had him about 7th place last time. This time he's, because I'm only including the 8 Jasons instead of Savini, he's going to be last in 8th spot. Now this is simply just because as time's gone on, I've realised that this Jason really is just terrible at pretty much defending objectives. High level lobbies, even low level lobbies, they can easily get a grip on him just because he has less traps. If they want to do the objectives, they're going to do it, they're going to escape. A lot of people are going to escape. You could probably have the whole lobby get out, just because you don't have enough traps. Another issue with him is just the minus shift and the minus water speed. They really are bad. Like, you can't, I don't know, just minus traps and minus shift is just never a good combination. You can't defend well, you can't be all that aggressive. Like, yeah, you can run, yeah, you're a slasher Jason, you have the weapon strength and destruction, which is good, but at the same time, it's kind of useless, especially when it comes to the later end of the game. All you really have is the ability to slash down people. Your defenses are just horrible. The only good thing about this Jason, I would say, is that he's pretty difficult to kill. The mask doesn't come off all that easily most of the time. No one I see really ever kills him. It's mainly just escaping in the first 5 minutes. So he's a bad Jason, but if you want to play Jason and be sure you're not going to die, that's an option. Also, I wanted to say that I love this Jason quite a lot. He's very good at speedrunning. Without him, I don't think speedrunning would be as fast. That's pretty much the only good thing about this Jason is the speedrunning. Apart from that, I wouldn't play as him in regular online lobbies. It's just, he's not a good Jason. Lots of people are going to escape. There's better options out there. So that's part 4, 8th on this list, and we'll go on to the next Jason. Coming in the next spot on the list, number 7, or the second worst in this game, is part 7. Once again, it's pretty similar as to why he's bad last time. Nothing has changed a whole lot with him. I just now think part 4 is worse, just because he's got bad shift pretty much, and just low water speed. Now with part 7 is, yeah, he's pretty slow. Like, he doesn't have a good shift. Like, it's just average. Doesn't have a good morph, just normal morph. the thing that makes part 7 a little bit better than part 4, I think, is the fact that he's not as abusable, I don't think. Like, that shift, yeah, he can still apply a decent amount of pressure. Like, he can still do everything a lot of the other Jasons can do. He just can't do them as well. Now, he does have increased water speed, which is helpful on maps that have a boat. You're going to catch that boat every time, unless you just have a bad morph or something like that. But even then, you could probably still catch them. Sense is not great. It's useful in finding characters really far away on the opposite side of the map. I've seen you can find characters with really high composure on the opposite side of the map. It's not bad in that respect, but it's not incredible. Weapon strength is also good, you know. If you're in a rush, because he's not overly fast, you can just slash him down, get a quick kill that way. I think I ranked him a lot, well, not a lot, but yeah, a bit lower than I should have. I think he's better than part 4. Part 7 players are also can be a bit aggressive. I've noticed recently is once they find a player, they tend to follow you until they will kill you. Like, they're pretty set on not leaving someone once they've started the chase. So they're pretty. They're a bit better than I once thought. So they've moved up a ranking. So we'll go on to the next one then. That's part 7, coming in at number 7. The next Jason, or coming in at the number 6 spot, is part 9 Jason. Now, I do think this Jason is a lot better than what I had it last time. He's not actually that bad. But you'll see a pattern in the last 2 and this one we've mentioned, is that all 3 have the same weakness and minus traps. Now, I still think minus traps is probably the worst weakness you can have in this game, just because it simply puts you at a disadvantage to the counselors. You're only going to be able to trap 3 things, so they're at the objectives. So they're going to be able to easily escape if you only have 3 traps, which these Jasons have. But that being said, I think this Jason is the best out of those that have 3 traps, and if he didn't have those 3 traps, he probably would be a little bit higher, because he is actually quite a bit of fun to play. That fast shift is really, really fun. Now, this Jason also struggles a bit with having less hit points, so this is kind of another thing that players can abuse. If you're in a lobby with high levels, or people that are experienced in killing Jasons, they will target you, like, they will. So people can abuse that factor about you as Jason, as well as the 3 traps, so that kind of makes him a bit bad. But yeah, he's fun to play. That shift is really fast. It's really fun. I love it. He also has a high stun resistance. So I've seen many times where people hit him with a bat and it just doesn't do anything. It's got to be frustrating for the people that actually do hit him with a bat. It just does nothing, bounces right off him. He also has an increased stalk, which is really nice. I love stalk. It's fun to get those stalk kills. So I'd say he's a pretty fun Jason. It's just the fact that he can be easily abused by high levels, like less traps plus less health. He'll be killed in a good lobby, or it'll be an easy escape in a good lobby. So that's why he's number 6. Wish he was a bit higher. He is a bit higher than what I ranked him last time, just due to a bit more experience with him. But yeah, overall he's a fun Jason, just suffers a bit. Alright, let's move on. Now coming in next, number 5, so the bottom 4 Jasons, wrapping that up, is part 2 Jason. Now, I ranked this Jason way too highly in the last one, and I think that was just because of recency bias. I'd recently come up against some really good part 2s, but overall part 2's not great. Now, they do have a lot of traps, and they can put them down very quickly, but that's all they have. Apart from that, he's a pretty useless Jason. Like, minus shift and minus water speed. So he can't catch up to the boat, and he can't catch up to the car, and he can't catch up to counselors. So realistically, all he has is his fast morph. He has to pretty much rely on that at all costs. If he doesn't have that, or doesn't have a good morph, he's in big trouble. So part 2 really struggles in that respect. Also, another issue that he has is he has minus defense. Minus defense is weapons will do more damage to you, so he will be killed more easily as well. Fun fact, he was the first Jason I ever killed, probably because of the minus defense and because it wasn't a good Jason. But yeah, he really suffers, and he'll be abused by a lot of players if he doesn't play well. And yeah, his strengths really don't help out a whole lot. Yeah, he's got the fast morph and the traps, like I said, but he won't have a problem with objectives, but he's going to have a problem with everything else. So that's why he's so low. I shouldn't have put him so high last time. A bit more time playing, and I can see that, yeah, he's not a good Jason, and he's definitely the bottom 4. So that being said, we'll now move on to our top 4. Now coming in at the 4th spot, just into our top 4 now, is part 6 Jason. Now this Jason is actually really good, very tough to come up against. I put him way too low last time. But the things that make this Jason good is the fast shift. Like, that really, it's just incredible. Like, it's just a great strength to have. My other favourite one that he has is increased throwing knives. So he has an additional 4 throwing knives at the start of the game compared to other Jasons. So he has an edge in that respect. Throwing knives are great. Like, you can just, it's a great way to just hurt counselors, make them easy targets. Plus with that shift, just makes them incredibly deadly, especially if you're outdoors. If you're indoors, it's a bit harder for him. He's a bit more limited in what he can do. But outdoors, holy moly, he is a menace. It's just, you're not safe outdoors. Just any minute you could be shift grabbed or hit with a knife. He's just incredibly scary. And a good part 6 Jason can really give you some trouble. The bad things about him though is that can be abused is his low defense. So once again, he's a Jason that can be killed quite easily. Strong characters will knock that mask off fairly regularly. It's not very good. I think one of his worst weaknesses though is the fact that he has bad morph. Now I used to run this Jason quite a lot, and that was the main reason I stopped running him for a good while, is because of the many times where I would need the morph ability to be back sooner than it was. And because it was still recharging when I needed it, I just had to swap. There were too many times where characters and counselors escaped because the morph was still on recharge. So I think because of that bad morph, and because he can still be abused with the less defense, he doesn't go any higher than 4th spot. But that fast shift and the throwing knives are just really incredible. I think every player should play him at some stage. He's quite a lot of fun, and he's quite good. He's really good. So give him a try, but I think you'll find eventually that there are better Jasons still, just because of that bad morph and the bad defense. So that's why he's top 4. He's really good, just not as good as some of the others. So we'll move on now. Coming in at top 3 is part 5. Now I ranked part 5 a lot higher last time just because I was biased. Part 5 is my favourite to play. I think just because of the fact that I love throwing knives, I like running Jasons, and I like Stalk, is why I like him so much. So I just put him first automatically because I'm like, yeah, he's my favourite. He's the best in the game, but yeah, he's not the best. There's 2 other Jasons obviously that are better than him. Now the thing is with part 5 is he doesn't have bad weaknesses. His weaknesses, just grip strength, doesn't matter, just kill them quickly with choke or head punch. Not throwing knife, sorry. The less defense, that's probably the worst thing about him, is the fact that, like other Jasons, he can be killed a lot more easily because that mask can be knocked off, because weapons will be doing a bit more damage to him. So he does suffer in that respect. He can be abused, can be easily killed, and stun resistance is not a big deal. You will get stunned, but I've had occasions where things that should stun me, like a bat or a pipe, just don't. So his weaknesses really don't hold him back too much. Like I said, the defense sucks, but the strengths on him are really good. The throwing knives can run, and the stalk. So he's got really good things about him, but once again, he just doesn't crack the top 2 because he can be killed quite easily. If he couldn't be killed quite easily, I think he would probably be still number 1. Unbiased me saying that, because I think he's just a great Jason to play. I've seen low levels dominate with this Jason, so yeah, he's well deserving of top 3, but not top 1. So that being said, we'll move on now.
Yes,
Now, number 2 Jason in this game is Part 8. Now, Part 8 is just really incredible. There's nothing about him that's bad. He cannot be abused in any respects whatsoever. Like, there's no minus defense, no minus hit points, no minus shift, no minus traps. A lot of things are average about him, plus he has no weaknesses that can be readily abused, like the defense, like we said. So he can't be killed easily, plus there's nothing that really councillors can use that will give them an edge over them. Like, they can't use the boat in particular. He has fast water speed, he's going to catch you every time. He has 5 traps, so the cars are going to be trapped, the phone's going to be trapped. Nothing the councillors can do to stop him, really, defending objectives. So he's great in that regards. Plus, he's also quite lethal, especially at the start. Having destruction at the start is quite an intimidating factor about this Jason. A lot of councillors just aren't ready for how fast he can break down those doors, and yeah, because they're not ready, they'll do something stupid, or they won't be as prepared as they should, and they'll die. So this Jason, he's quite good. That water speed and that destruction really help. He's really hard to come up against. If you're on a big map, just say goodbye, especially if there's a boat. There's no way you're escaping him. So yeah, this Jason was ranked a bit too low last time, but I still think he's a really good Jason. So he's well deserving of number 2, and in fact, he would be number 1, but number 1 is just too good. There's a reason number 1's number 1. So that being said, Part 8 Jason number 2 on this list, and now we'll be moving on to the number 1 spot. Now, the best Jason in the game is Part 3 Jason. Now, there's a reason why a lot of high levels and competitive players use Part 3, and that's just because you can't stop him. Like, there's nothing you can do to get an edge over him. There's nothing you can abuse him with. Very, very hard to kill. No minus defense, no minus traps, no minus shift, no minus morph. Everything about him is great. Nothing can hold him back. His strengths include, like, grip strength can run, and weapon strength. The running and the weapon strength is really good. He can keep up with most councillors and can hit them down and slash them and kill them. So he can kill you very, very fast and almost unfairly at times, because you can't stop him, yet he can keep up with you and defend at the exact same time and kill you very quickly. So he's very, very hard to counteract. I find that if you're up against a 150, like really experienced Jason, the best Jasons I've ever known in this game were Part 3 Jasons. They just incredibly brutal Jasons. You just can't get an edge over them at all. So I think this is why they're the best Jason in the game. Yeah, I think most of the time when I play, I run Part 5, but if I get into a lobby where I have really bad lag, I just flick to Part 3, because I know the lag is going to compensate my game greatly. So if I run Part 3, they can't abuse me with my minus defense, and I can slash them down if I'm in a hurry, because the lag it doesn't help. So Part 3 is just great. I really enjoy Part 3. I think he's the best Jason in the game, and I think a lot of people agree that there's nothing really that holds him back as a Jason, and he's just overall the best in this game. So that's why he's number 1. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, I hope this ranking is a bit better than last time. I think it is. I've revisited the game, and I've gone over pretty much all the Jasons again, and I think this is a fairly good take on them. I didn't include Savini, like I said, just because I think a lot has changed since then, and I've noticed a lot more with Savini's is they're very self-aware of people wanting to kill them, wanting to kill Savini Jasons. A lot of people, when they see a Savini in the lobby, will target them and try and kill them at, like, pretty much no matter what, straight off the bat. And because of this, I've noticed a lot more Savinis playing very defensively, which really doesn't help like Savini's game style. Like, you just want to be attacking as possible. So yeah, I've noticed a lot just taking out the lights as soon as possible, trying to prevent Tommy coming in, trapping a lot of the light boxes, and just, yeah. So I think playing Savini's probably a bit rough, and because I haven't played him, I can't really judge how good he is. I think it's a bad time to be Savini. So that's why I didn't include him. So yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this list is pretty comprehensive. Hopefully, if you're a new player, you kind of get an understanding about each Jason and which ones are good, which ones are not so great. And yeah, but like I said, I think Part 4 is pretty much the worst. But apart from Part 4, all the other Jasons are quite fun to play as. Like, I wouldn't mind playing as any of them, and I have used them all extensively. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you got any queries about my selections or just comments you'd like to make about each Jason in your opinion, I'd love to hear it. But if not, I just hope you enjoyed regardless. So I'll let you go now, and I hope you enjoyed this video and it was better than the last. So thanks guys, see ya.